ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविद्याभूतले प्रभुपदति प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभक्तराधारास बिहारी भक्तिवेदांतस्वामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविद्याभूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं। हरे कृष्ण। So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 8. We are text 27. So this is the story of Bharat Maharaj. We are completing this today. So what happened to Maharaj Bharat? So he was so absorbed in the thought of the deer that at the time of his death, that the image of that deer came next to him as if his own son. And thinking about that poor deer, he developed the features. He developed the features of the deer. So it's like it follows a principle. So this is discussed here, 27. Let's read this. Tadanimapi parshvavartinam atmajam ivanushocantam abhivikshamano mriga eva bhinivinishitam mana vishidya lokam imam saha mrigena kalevaram mritam manunam mrita janmanu smritir itaravan mriga shariram avapa. Yeah. At the time of death, the king saw that the deer was sitting by his side exactly like his own son and was lamenting his death. Oh my God. Actually, the mind of the king was absorbed in the body of the deer, and consequently, like those bereft of Krishna consciousness, he left the world, the deer, and his material body and acquired the body of a deer. However, there was one advantage. Although he lost his human body and received the body of a deer, he didn't forget the incidents of his past life. We had discussed this, right? So we are on text 28. Tatrapi hava atmano mrigatva karanam bhagavat aradhana Samihanubhavena nusmritya brisham anutapyamana aha. Although in the body of a deer, Bharat Maharaj, due to his rigid devotional service in his past life, could understand the cause of his birth in that body. Considering his past and present life, he constantly repented his activities, speaking in the following way. Purport. There is a special concession for a devotee. Even if he attains a body that is non-human by the grace of the Supreme Person Godhead, he advances further in devotional service, whether by remembering his past life or by natural causes. It is not easy for a common man to remember the activities of his past life. But Bharat Maharaj could remember his past activities due to his great sacrifices and engagement in devotional service. What do you understand by this? It's a short paragraph, but it's explaining about the law of karma. Right? What do you understand by this? Explain this short paragraph.
Like even if we are not able to complete our Krishna consciousness in this life, so in the next life, if the Lord gives us a chance to further advance in devotion service.
No, here the point is about remembrance of past life activities, right? This is the point here. Everybody is curious to know what was the past life.
I think there was a real case, that in Europe, one devotee is a German. I think he was a Prabhupada disciple. He was just new. He met with an accident and he died. So when Prabhupada was there, he asked him to give him on his fourth day some prasadam, Krishna prasadam. And then he took birth again as a devotee. And Guru Maharaj initiated. Now, first he was he, now he is she. And she remembers the entire past life.
With Prabhupada.
As a devotee, and he was the only child. He went to his old house also to see, but his parents were not there, so the government took away the house.
So, this is a special concession for a devotee. Now, Prabhupada is making a point here about past life, remembering past life. Like, when you show your Janma Patri, usually they say 3 births, they see, right, past, your present, and what's your future, right? What are your tendencies and what you will become in your future life. Here Prabhupada is speaking about this. The verse is speaking about this. So, due to his rigid devotional service in his past life, could understand the cause of his birth in that body. Now, why is it that we have taken birth in this body. There is a reason for it, right? It didn't happen by chance. What is it dependent on? Activities, and then what?
What he thinks at the time of death.
Yeah. No, where his mind is absorbed. Because there are so many things that we do, right? We give up, we do this, we give up, right? We keep changing the course of life. We live 60 years from the age of 20 onward, right? For 40 years, how many things we pick up and drop, right? But what is it, that one thing that we pick up and never drop? This is what become our next, becomes our mind, where our mind finally got hooked, right? So, King Bharat, he was king for God knows how many years, right? For only a few years, his mind got hooked on one object and he couldn't let go of it. He just couldn't let go of it, right? So it's like so risky. So this next two verses will explain about this. So now, because he has so much bhakti sukriti, due to his rigid, what says here, Bhagavad Aradhana Samiha. Actually, say devotees, they are very awake, right? Devotees are very much conscious. They're very awake. That's why a devotee, you can easily train him or her to go high, because they are awake. If you give one jolt, they can go very high. Like Bilva Mangal Thakur, right? He was doing such sinful activity, but he got such a knock from Chintamani, right, that he woke up to stage of bhava overnight, right? So devotees are very special. And why this has happened? Because of already past activities, past rigid devotional service in his past. That's why we keep on shouting at everybody, right? If you come in this class, right, very few of you come. Because when you will sit here, you will hear what Bhagavatam is saying. Be serious. Not only be sincere, but be serious. Prabhupada says, you may be sincere. Everybody is very sincere and hot, right? How serious are you in the practice? Right? How serious are you in the practice? So rigid. Aradhana Bhagavad Aradhana Samiha. Due to his rigid devotional service in his past life. So, because he's awake, he could understand what was his past life, right? So, if we are in female bodies, women body, wherever we have taken birth, we should know that this is the result of past life. All right? Wherever we may be, the plus, minus, everything. So, considering his past and present life, he constantly repented his activities, speaking in the following way. So, Prabhupada is saying here, there are two ways by which we can remember our past life. What are the ways? You can look at what Prabhupada. Two ways by which, due to our rigid practice in devotional service, we can, or by natural causes. What is that natural causes? What is natural causes? Everybody knows this, especially in India.
Dreams and all that.
Why dreams? Why everything is in dream?
Is it not really like sometimes a person passes and he gets attracted by reading a Bhagavad Gita, starts reading it and starts following it? Is it like
You know, it's very simple. Your day-to-day life. These are the natural causes, right? Isn't it? Every year is it same? No? These are natural causes. Every year, nature sends you some message. Isn't it? You get knocked by this one, you get knocked by that one. You were almost winning the prize and then it failed. Right? Immediately what the Indians will say, this must be due to past life karma. Right?
This is in India, no? What about the people?
We are talking here who follow Vedic culture. Right? Those who follow Vedic culture know the law of karma, and that's why you have to be careful. Right? We are conscious. Now we are teaching everybody, it's all your effort. We just read a beautiful song right now. We read a beautiful song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, now I have, by your will the living beings take birth and die. By your will they meet with prosperity and ruin, happiness and sorrow. These are the natural causes, right? The tiny soul bounded by Maya vainly struggles in the fetters of worldly desires. Without your function, he is unable to do anything. Then what to do? You are my protector and maintainer. Except for your lotus feet, there is no other hope for me. Now I have given up all confidence in my own strength and endeavor. Now I depend solely on your will. So these natural causes is simply your day-to-day life. It's like you're walking on a road, right? You don't know what's ahead the next moment, isn't it? You sneeze now, right? You don't know what the result will be. Isn't it? Anybody knew the whole world will lock down because of sneezing? Did you ever dream of anything like this? Natural causes, right? So many we discover, right? After that lockdown, you saw what happened in India? Everybody started pouring in temples, isn't it? It went completely mad because they remembered their past life. Right? They started thinking, I must have done something. Because what was the result? People not only lost family members, they lost their houses, they lost their jobs, even so much problem happened in the family, right? Right? So these are natural causes which make me stop and think, what was my past life activities? And if you're a little intelligent, right? Little intelligent meaning you know how the law of karma works. It means equal and opposite. Right? It's not just haphazard. It is equal and opposite. So if you are suffering in a particular way, then what will you think? Just vague like this?
I must have made someone suffer
in this way. Yes. Equal and opposite. This is a law. So if I'm suffering in this way, right, I must have caused somebody to suffer in this way. So remembering the past life due to awakened consciousness or by observing the natural causes. So Prabhupada is saying that it is not easy for a common man to remember the activities of his past life. It is not easy to remember the past life activity. Why? But Bharat Maharaj could remember his past activities due to his great sacrifices and engagement in devotional service. So therefore, a devotee is peaceful. We may become angry, why this is happening, why that is happening. Become upset and angry, right? Natural. But then, that's why Bhagavatam is so important. But when we read or we hear Bhagavatam or we chant, then we come to know, we come to the point of knowledge. Then we can accept. And we also know what to do. Alright, like Bharat Maharaj is going to do. Now this is a very long text. Aho kashtam brashtoham atmavatam anupatad yad vimukta samasta sangasya vivikta punyaranya sharanasyaatmavata atmani sarvesham atmanam bhagavati vasudeve tad anushravanam mananam sankirtanaradhananusmaranabhiyogena shunya sakalayamena kalena samavishetam samahitam kasnyena manastattu punar mama budhasyaran mrigasutam anuparishushhrava. My God, now this is Bharat Maharaj in the dear body. Alright? He is in dear body and he is thinking. He's thinking. What is he thinking?
His mistakes, past mistakes.
In the body of a deer, Bharat Maharaj began to lament. He's lamenting, he's in a deer body. He's lamenting. Alright? He's lamenting. What misfortune! Aho kastam, alas, what a miserable condition of life. So, he's in the deer body and he's conscious that this deer body is miserable. It is misfortune. Can a dog think he's unfortunate? Like it's his misfortune, he's become a dog? No. So this Atma is awakened. So this is a devotee, very advanced devotee, who by mistake, deliberate mistake, became a deer. Aho kastam, alas, what a miserable condition of life. Brashtaha, fallen, aham, I, Atma Vatam, of great devotees who have achieved perfection. Anupathat, from the way of life, yet from which Vimukta Samasta Sangasya, although having given up the association of my real sons and home. Vimukta, you understand this word Vimukta?
Liberated.
Yeah. It's not just a simple mukta. Vimukta meaning very much detached from the family. Vimukta Samasta Sangasya. Vivikta, solitary, punya aranya, of a sacred forest. Sharanasya, who had taken shelter. Atmavataha, of one who had become perfectly situated in the transcendental platform, meaning he knows he's not the body, he is soul. He knows he's not the body, he's the soul. Atmani, in the super soul, Sarvesham, of all Atmanam, living entities, Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Person Godhead, Vasudeve, Lord Vasudev, Tat, of him, Anushravana, constantly hearing, Manana, thinking, Sankirtana, chanting, Aradhana, worshipping, Anusmarana, constantly remembering, Abhiyogena, by absorption in, Ashunya, filled, Sakala Yamena, in which all the hours, Sakala Yamena, in which all the hours, Kalena, by time, Samaveshitam, fully established, Samahitam, fixed, Karsnyena, totally, Manaha, the mind in such a situation, that mind, te, tu, but, punaha, again, mama of me, abudasya, a great fool, arat, from a great distance, mrigasutam, the son of a deer. Now, before he was thinking, oh my son, now he's saying, son of a deer. Before it was his own son, right? I say, no, he woke up. He's not my son. This is the son of a deer. His Maya, suddenly broken in a very horrible way. Anu, being affected by Pari-sushrava. Pari-sushrava fell down. So it's very, very easy to forget Vasudeva. Right? Even after chanting, hearing, remembering him, worshipping, right? We are doing this daily, but it's very easy to forget Vasudeva. So easy.
Mataji, I'll ask one question. I don't know how valid it is. They say if you are a devotee, your generations ahead and after. You can read the translation also. First, I'll read the translation.
Yeah, okay, you ask a question.
We say that if he's a pure devotee, your generation 7 backwards and 7 ahead will be delivered. He was a son of the Supreme Lord. How could he fall down? Bharat Maharaj was a son now.
Will be answered in the prayer.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. In the body of a deer, Bharat Maharaj began to lament, "What misfortune! I have fallen from the path of self-realized. I gave up my real sons, wife and home to advance in spiritual life, and I took shelter in the solitary holy place in the forest. I became self-controlled and self-realized, and I engaged constantly in devotional service, hearing, thinking, chanting, worshipping, and remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. I was successful in my attempt, so much so that my mind was always absorbed in devotional service. However, due to my personal foolishness, my mind again became attached, this time to a deer. Now I obtained the body of a deer and fallen far from my devotional practice." Should I?
Okay, let me read because I'll explain us. Okay, so now, actually we have already discussed all this. Due to his stringent execution of devotional service. What is the meaning of stringent? Very strict. Maharaj Bharat could remember the activities of his past life and how he was raised to the spiritual platform. Remember that this incident, usually we are studying how to raise ourselves from material life to spiritual life. And now we are studying how from spiritual platform we come down and lose not everything, but a lot. At least time is lost, right? Like the spiritual progress is checked. But because we are devotees, it's not lost. Krishna says in which verse? Yes. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita 2:40 somewhere there. Alright? Krishna says in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution. So he got like on the path, suddenly he got stalled. His car like stalled. But wherever he is, he remained there, but he couldn't go any further. Alright. So he maintained all his spiritual credits. He didn't lose the spiritual credits, but he couldn't use it, you could say. He couldn't access it. Right? So he got stuck there. But lucky, he started to repent. Right? That's the real crux of it all. If by misfortune, we do something that's not appropriate. But if there is repentance and rectification, then we can go ahead. Due to his foolishness, he became attached to an insignificant deer. Why insignificant?
Not really required.
Yeah. Why is the deer insignificant?
There was no need for him to be a protector. Krishna is the protector of everything. So he could have left to the nature of the deer.
Yeah, Prabhupada speaks about why here Prabhupada is saying insignificant deer. Why is he insignificant? Is your son insignificant? Why is the deer insignificant?
Because he doesn't have human being consciousness.
Yeah.
Lower consciousness.
Yes, because it's an animal, you cannot train an animal to become Krishna conscious. A child, a human child, is not insignificant. A human child is a superb opportunity, and this is what Bharat Maharaj lost. This is the responsibility of every parent here, right? So the deer is insignificant because you cannot make an animal become Krishna conscious. You invest your time and energy in a son who's human being. And you train the son. Right? So due to his foolishness, he became attached to an insignificant deer and thus fell down and had to accept the body of a deer. So, a deer, it has its own destiny. Let it meet its destiny. Right? This is significant for every devotee. If we misuse our position and think that we are fully engaged in devotional service and can do whatever we like, we have to suffer like Bharat Maharaj and be condemned to accept the type of body that impairs our devotional service. Prabhupada, what Prabhupada is doing here now? What Prabhupada is doing here now? He's writing a purport. And what is he doing? He changed his tone. Right? Prabhupada changed his tone, and what is he doing when he's writing?
Saying complacency and
he started addressing his disciples directly. Right? Isn't it? Prabhupada changed, like so much philosophy, this, and then suddenly Prabhupada changed his tone. He's saying, this is significant for who? Every devotee, whoever is sitting here, right? Whoever is reading the book, whoever is studying this section. This is significant for every devotee. If we, meaning now, we misuse our position, right? You know, we come, somebody gave us a book, give us prasadam, drag us into a program, and we say, yes, go and see this pravachan, hear this pravachan, whatever. You start chanting, you start putting kantimala, you get a bead bag, you get a mantra, you know, by diksha, you get a change of name, and they say, now I am devotee, relax. Right? Prabhupada is saying, if we misuse our position, and this happens all the time to all of us, right? We misuse our position and think we are fully engaged in devotional service and can do whatever we like. This is how devotees suffer. Well, maybe not that much, but maybe not that much in the sense that we may not fall in animal body, but at least another chakkar right in this material world. Right? You lose taste for Krishna consciousness. You stop practicing Krishna consciousness. You become again, you know, a workaholic in your business. Right? Or you marry the fifth wife. Right?
Yeah, but then see that many who are given up and become devotees, they are renunciated, become Prabhuji, they go into matrimony.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Varnashram system is okay. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapras, Sannyas. Here, Bharat Maharaj was in Sannyas. Right? Sannyas, he gave up wife and children and he got attached to one animal and became an animal. So here Prabhupada is saying, if we misuse our position, meaning that now I'm devotee, okay? Das, Dasi, right? Prabhuji, Mataji, Prabhuji. Mataji is common, but Prabhuji, okay? We misuse our position and think that we are fully engaged in devotion. Anyway, I'm a devotee and I'm fully engaged in devotional service. Right? I get up early in the morning, I do my arti, I offer my food, I give donation, I do this, and I say, I'm set. Right? And it's very risky to believe you're set in devotional service. So we misuse our position. And we think that we can do whatever we like. What does that mean, we do whatever we like? We relax our effort. Now we got the name tag. So I can, whatever, I don't know what Prabhupada was seeing, what he saw his devotees do. So he said, do whatever what we like. We have to suffer like Bharat Maharaj and be condemned to accept the type of body that impairs our devotional service. Only the human form is able to execute devotional service. Alright? You can note this. Why that deer was insignificant? Because only the human form is able to execute devotional service. But if we voluntarily give this up for sense gratification, we certainly have to be punished. So if we are not careful, and again, see, like we start dealing with dhanam, janam, sundarim, right? Right? Wealth, followers, glorification, right? Which come in the form of praises from the opposite sex, right? Dhanam, janam, sundarim, sundarim, kavitam, right? Beautiful poetry, people keep on praising you, right? That's how we get caught. And therefore we relax, we are no more on our guards. Only the human form is able to execute devotional service. But if we voluntarily, I've just described what it is voluntarily, give this up for sense gratification, we certainly have to be punished. So Prabhupada is saying very simply, you have to be punished. How do you feel like about this? A child, you punish a child when you're a grown-up adult. You're punished. It's very horrible, isn't it? You punish an adult, it's really horrible. But the laws of nature punishes the adult. Parents, teachers, they punish the child. But the laws of nature, they punish the adult. This punishment is not exactly like that endured by an ordinary materialistic person. So there is some concession for devotees. By the grace of the law of the Supreme Lord, a devotee is punished in such a way that his eagerness to attain the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva is increased. Alright, so when the slap is given, because the devotee is awake, alright, he's not in darkness, he's conscious, but he purposefully negligent, not serious. So he acts in such a way, so therefore the Supreme Lord gives one thappar, okay? In the form of disease maybe, in form of loss of wealth, in loss of family members, whatever it may be, different calamities happen to us. But this devotee, he wakes up. Whereas the ordinary people, he cannot understand. What does he do? When ordinary people are slapped by material nature, what do they do? What do they do?
They become averse to. They become averse to the Lord.
Yes, they start hating God. Right? And what do?
They start cursing God.
They're cursing God, and what else do?
Start doing all bad actions.
Yes, they jump straight into sinful activities. Whereas when a devotee, like I just described after the coronavirus, I was amazed to see this country called India. I was amazed. The temple became full. So they got such a hit by the lotus hand of Vasudeva that this became pious. Right? For what, I don't know what's the degree of piety, but at least something happened. So by his intense desire, he returns home in the next lifetime. Devotional service is very completely described here. Constant hearing and chanting of the glories of the Lord is recommended. Tad anushravana smanana sankirtanaradhana nusmarana bhi yogena. It's one word together. Bhagavad Gita, the Lord recommends, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drida vrataha. Those who have taken to Krishna consciousness should be very careful that not a single moment is wasted and that not a single moment is spent without chanting and remembering the Supreme Personal Godhead and His activities. So now Prabhupada is going to speak about time, utilization of time. Don't waste your time. By his own actions and by the actions of his devotees, Krishna teaches us how to become cautious in devotional service. Through the medium of Bharat Maharaj, Krishna teaches us that we must be careful in the discharge of devotional service. If we want to keep our minds completely fixed without deviation, we must engage them in devotional service full time. Not a moment when it's not occupied by Krishna, otherwise the mriga will come in. Right? As far as the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness are concerned, meaning that's all of us. Now just see what instruction Prabhupada is giving. They have sacrificed everything to push on this Krishna consciousness movement. Now Prabhupada is specifically referring to his because his disciples, they left everything and they joined him. And that's how they pushed and spread this movement. I just heard one talk by Bhaktivinoda Maharaj on preaching in Russia. We'll post this. Very, very, very instructive. You know what was happening in Russia, how preaching Prabhupada went to Russia, how he infiltrated into Russia, and then how gradually the devotees were stepping in Russia. Then what happened? So he said, this is a very classic illustration of what Prabhupada is talking about here. As far as the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness are concerned, they have sacrificed everything to push on this Krishna consciousness movement. Yet, they must take a lesson from the life of Bharat Maharaj to be very cautious and to see that not a single moment is wasted in frivolous talk, prajalpa, sleep or voracious eating. Eating is not prohibited, but if we eat voraciously, we shall certainly sleep more than required. Sense gratification ensued, and we may be degraded to a lower form of life, right? So it's eating and sleeping. Then the body demands sense gratification, and then gradually we engage in all types of sinful activities. In that way, our spiritual progress may be checked, at least for the time being. In that, the best course is to take the advice of Srila Rupa Goswami. Avyartha kalatvam. We should see that every moment of our lives is utilized for the rendering of devotional service and nothing else. This is the secure position for one wanting to return home back to Godhead. All right. So, you can make your own schedule, your householders, right? Make your own schedule. How? To make your lives in such a way that no moment is lost without being engaged in devotional service, no prajalpa, right? Not oversleeping and not just cooking to eat. Once a week it's okay, right? Right? Once a week it's okay. Okay, we should complete. Okay, 2 more. Text 30. Ityavam niguddha nirvedo vishrejam mrigim mataram punar bhagavat Chetram upashama shilam munigana daitam shalagramam pulatsya pulahashramam kalanjarat pratyajagama. Yes, so you can read the formula.
Translation. Although Bharat Maharaj received the body of a deer by constant repentance, he became completely detached from all material things. He did not disclose these things to anyone, but he left his mother deer in a place known as Kalanjara mountain, where he was born. He again went to the forest Salagrama and to the ashram of Pulastya and Pulaha. Purport. It is significant that Maharaj Bharat, by the grace of Vasudeva, remembered his past life. He did not waste a moment. He returned to Pula Ashram, to the village known as Salagrama. Association is very meaningful. Therefore, ISKCON tries to perfect one who enters the society. The members of this society should always remember the society is not like a free hotel. All the members should be very careful to execute their spiritual duties, so that whoever comes will automatically become a devotee and will be able to return back to Godhead in this very life. Although Bharat Maharaj acquired the body of a deer, he again left his hearth and home, in this case the mountain Kalanjara. No one should be captivated by his birthplace and family. One should take shelter of the association of devotees and cultivate Krishna consciousness.
Yes, so Prabhupada gave a very, very specific instruction. What instruction did he give?
Yeah, I think there are more than one instruction. One direct instruction is that one needs to perfect. ISKCON tries to perfect the devotee who enters the society, and also it is the responsibility of the society not to treat this as a free hotel, but to know the dharma and execute their spiritual duties.
Yes, yes. So Prabhupada was very careful. All right, and he's given this instruction that a temple means, Prabhupada is referring to those who are living in the ashram, right? So he said that this ashram is not a what? Not a free hotel, right? You come, you don't have a job, you find here's food, there is shelter, you come and relax here, right? So Prabhupada is saying, he's put it down in Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 8, text 30. All right, put it down. These are his rules, right? If you are staying in a temple ashram, you cannot behave as if you are staying in a free hotel. My God, huh? Never expected to see such divine words, right, in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is only divine, right? And here, ISKCON ashram is free hotel.
Founder or co-founder of Apple, Steve Jobs says, he thanks ISKCON and the food of ISKCON. Because of that, he is what he is today. ISKCON wouldn't have given him meals, he wouldn't have been alive, and Apple wouldn't have been there. He acknowledged
But he did not give a penny donation to ISKCON. Not a penny he gave.
Oh, is it?
He became such a billionaire and did not leave anything to ISKCON.
That he acknowledged. So therefore those who heard him said, okay, it has value. So it is significant that Maharaj Bharat, by the grace of Vasudev, all right? So if it ever happens in our consciousness that I have a glimpse, if when something happens to me, right? If I have a glimpse and I think, remember the rule? Law of karma, how does it work? Equal and opposite, right? These are the laws, equal and opposite. So if by the grace of Vasudev, something happens to me, and by the grace of Vasudev, I get the glimpse and understand, right? Why I'm suffering this particular situation. I must have done it to somebody, because the law cannot punish me for something that is for some other cause. All right? It's not illogical. Law means it's like a set, something that you cannot escape. Right? So, by the grace, so he became a deer. So, Bharat Maharaj, in thinking, how did I become a deer? I must have liked the shape of the deer. Right? I became infatuated with the shape of a deer. So that's why my shape has become that of a deer. So he didn't waste a moment. So as soon as he understood his mistake, he didn't waste a moment. Just like you become aware there is some disease in your body, or you're going to waste time, right? Is anybody going to take care of you? I'm just asking this question. When there is disease in your body, is anybody going to take care of you? No. Right? Stephen Covey, right? Stephen Covey. The 7th law of highly effective people, the habits. 7 habits, highly effective. The 7th law is that, is saying, taking care of yourself. He said, this is in your hands. Your health is in your own hands. And even all these Ayurvedic doctors, everybody, he said, doctors don't cure you. You cure yourself. How you live your life. So similarly now we want to cure our what? Soul. Yeah. So it's no use, decorating the body, because the body is going to die anyway, right? So therefore, taking care of the soul is even more urgent than taking care of the body. so he's got a fresh new body, right? Dear body. But it's a fresh new body. What did he do? He didn't waste one moment. You could just have sat there and say, anyway, I know I'm Jad Bharat, the king. Not Jad Bharat, Bharat Maharaj. Right? He didn't waste a moment. What did he do?
He left home.
Yeah, he was deer, right? So where did he take birth? In mountains, right? Because deers live in mountains. But that mountain was where? Where was it? The mountain?
In the village of Salagrama.
Yeah. Right? It was a mountain near the ashram where he was practicing his austerities, his sadhana, where Pulatsya Muni and Pulaha Muni were doing their sadhana. So he left the mountain and he went to the ashram of Pulatsya and Pulaha. Why?
Association is very important.
Yes.
He had started his practice there also.
Yes, so but why did he leave his mother dear and went to that ashram? Association. So this is the point that Prabhupada is making here. Alright? So Prabhupada keep on saying again and again in all his books, he has created this ISKCON society. Society means where people gather. Alright? They gather for what? Rajalpa?
Same purpose.
Yeah. So if Hare Krishna people, when they meet, they only gossip, what's the use? Prabhupada spoke of free hotel, but devotees also when they gather, what do they do? Right? So association. How many devotees have told me they stopped coming to the temple because they had a quarrel with somebody in the temple? What's the use? Is it true? Is it true? So many devotees. No, better we don't go to the temple. Because we come to the temple, somehow or other, we get into quarrel with this one, that one. So meaning association hasn't been proper. Right? So association is very meaningful. Therefore, ISKCON tries to perfect one who enters the society. I just heard, so Bhakti Vignan Maharaj was speaking about Bhagavatam, right? Yeah, you heard that? Yeah? So he said that Bhagavatam, it's for serious people. And first canto, right, make the point, right? It's not for entertainment. Unless there is, something, cracking jokes, I don't know what to do, right? Then it becomes interesting. Here, what's the interest? You become dear, right? You will just come and socialize and quarrel with others because what you waste time in what? Eating voraciously and in frivolous talk, right? The members of this society should always remember that the society is not like a free hotel. All the members should be very careful to execute the spiritual duty. So meaning that once I'm wearing Kanti Mala, I've changed my name, into Das Dasi, I've got a responsibility, right? So when I am somehow connected with this society, meaning who comes in contact with me, this is the spiritual duty that Prabhupada is talking about. We should help the other person perfect his life. Right? Should execute the spiritual duty so that whoever comes will automatically become a devotee and will be able to return back to Godhead in this very life. Yeah. So one should take shelter of the association of devotees and cultivate Krishna consciousness. So it's very sad, when satsang program closed down, right? When there is quarrel among devotees, there's only partying, the satsang group become like parties, right? Spiritual parties. And then business party also creeps in, right? So many things. Then quarrel and then finish. 31. Tasminapi kalam pratikshmana sangascha brisham udvigna atma sahachara shushka parnatrina virudha vartamano brigatva nimitavasanam eva ganayam mriga shariram tirtodaka klinam utsaja sarja. Tasminapi, in that ashram, Pulaha ashram, kalam, at the end of the duration of life, the dear body. Pratikshmanaha, always waiting for sangat from association, cha, and brisham, constantly, udvignaha, full of anxiety, atma sahacharaha, having the super soul as the only constant companion. No one should think of being alone. Shushka parna trina virudha, by eating only the dry leaves and herbs. Vartamanaha, existing. Mrigatva, nimitta, of the cause of a deer's body. Avasanam, the end, eva, only. Ganayam, considering. Mriga shariram, the body of a deer. Tirtha udaka klinan, bathing in the water of that holy place. Utsa sharja, gave up. Remaining in that ashram, the great king Bharat Maharaj is in dear body, right? Great king Bharat Maharaj was now very careful not to fall victim to bad association. Without disclosing his past to anyone, he remained in that ashram and ate dry leaves only. He was not exactly alone, for he had the association of the super soul. In this way he waited for death in the body of a deer. Bathing in that holy place, he finally gave up that body. The laws of nature is such that you are locked in a body and by force you are made to eat so that your body doesn't die. Right? The punishment is such that. Otherwise, very easy to say, I'm great King Bharat. Better I just starve till death. But the laws of nature is such that it impels you to eat so that you don't die. That's why, however much people suffer, they don't starve to death. Even when they try, they break their vow of starvation, right? Isn't it? They were suffering so much. They say, let me just stop eating and drinking. Right? I'll die. But no. Because the law of nature forces us to live in that body until the law of nature decides, now you come out. It's terrible. It's imprisonment. Karagar. You just read, right? This song, Karagar. Let us read it again. We really chose the right song. Karagar. Let's read. Okay. This is Tava Ichamate Shiva Korena Samhara Tava Ichamate Maya Shrije Karagar. Lord Shiva destroyed in similar obedience to your will, and by your wish, Maya creates the prison house of this world. So, by our own psyche, we are locked in our body and we are forced to stay. So that's why people are working so hard. Human beings, here the deer is eating little dry grass and leaves, right? But what do human beings do? They work and work and work and work for the dry grass. Right? You drink tea, dry grass, and you work so hard. Isn't it? Isn't it? At the end of the day, that's what you are doing. Oh, you know what's this? Wheat grass. Now they put it dry grass. And how much it costs? You have to work so hard to just for your dry grass. All your herbs. Okay, purport. Holy places like Vrindavan, Haridwar, Prayag and Jagannath Puri are specially meant for the execution of devotional service. So Prabhupada is giving the list. Vrindavan, Haridwar, Prayag and Jagannath Puri. Vrindavan specifically is the most exalted and preferred holy place for Vaishnava devotees of Lord Krishna who are aspiring to return back to Godhead. The Vaikuntha planets. There are many devotees in Vrindavan who regularly bathe in the Yamuna, and this cleanses all the contamination of the material world. By constantly chanting and hearing the holy names and pastime of the Supreme Lord, one certainly becomes purified and becomes a fit candidate for liberation. So you have to become a candidate for liberation. You have to become fit. How? By taking advantage of the facilities offered in Vrindavan, meaning bathing in the Yamuna, chanting and hearing the kirtan and katha. However, if one purposefully falls victim to sense gratification, he has to be punished, at least for one lifetime, like Bharat Maharaj. So if we go to Vrindavan, right, and we commit sinful activities, then we are punished. Yeah. Yes, so going to Vrindavan is not so easy. Not so easy. Yes. Not so easy. 1,000 times multiply positive, 1,000 times multiply negative. And it's very risky. So that's why the acharyas recommend not more than 3 days. You go to Vrindavan not more than 3 days. And if we are to spend more time, then we have to prepare ourselves. So much sadhana is required. Then we can actually go there. So that was very, very intense, right? Very, very intense. And now the way, they are spoiling the holy place, right? So much wrong activities, especially commercial activity that's going on in Vrindavan. Like maybe I spoke about that in the Himalayas, right? I think on the way to Badrikashram, there was a major flood, right? Last year, right? Why? Because of tourism. Anyway, see, these are all because it comes in the purports. And then I saw this, because it was all in the news about how there was collapse of the ice or something, right? So what was happening? Badrika Ashram is a place where you have to go in the mood of Bharat Maharaj, right? You want spiritual realization. But what has happened? It became a tourist place. Then shops started to open. And not only shops, houses started to open to rent, for renting, right? And where did they build it? I mean, I don't know whether you read that in the news. It is nothing, reading a astrological chart. No, as you said, there's everything. Anyway, everything is scientific. What is it? I think 2 centuries ago or so, some geologists had said that it's hollow. Below that, the ice, it's hollow. Nobody heard. Again and again, warning is being given. You can't build houses. So it started to crack, right? The floor started to crack. Then you cry, right? So we can't exploit. You can't exploit what? Holy places. Holy places. You can't. You have to be fit, right? A fit candidate for liberation, right? So in order to approach Vrindavan, we need to have the proper mood. Right? It's very easy to commit offenses in Vrindavan. Very easy. You get so irritated by so many things. Very easy. And Prabhupada is saying most exalted among the list is Vrindavan. So just imagine how much good you can get from Vrindavan and how much reaction you can also get from Vrindavan. You cannot do wrong things in Vrindavan. Cannot do. So, anyway, the story, I think in some earlier purport, Prabhupada spoke about the Goswamis, right? He said they became pigs, dogs, and tortoise. They commit their Goswamis, alright. He said that's what they became because of doing wrong activities. Business dealings or just gross sinful activities, whatever they may do. So the mood has to be proper, and it's a preparation. Every time when we go there, there has to be, it's not a place for tourism, that's for sure, right? And if we go, see the way we were taught, when we go to Vrindavan, we should go under guidance. We should join some sadhus, groups of devotees, guide. That's why when I go, we always go with Dinabandhu Prabhu or Indradyumna Swami, my Guru Maharaj, and he will always send us. Just see, like when I first came to India, my Guru Maharaj sent me with Bhakti Charu Swami to Mayapur. That's what he did. That's how, became more close. And then when we went to Vrindavan, he sent us with Tamar Krishna Goswami Maharaj and Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. He guided us each and every step. So, because he ingrained that in us till today, when we go to Vrindavan, it's no sightseeing. It is going with sadhus. Because they reveal the Dham to us. So these are very, very important instruction that's being given here, right? I don't know how it came to this because of Pulaha Ashram, right? It ended up with Pulaha Ashram. So Prabhupada is giving the warning. If we go to holy places, we should behave ourselves. Otherwise, 3 days is sufficient. Alright, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.